A man convicted in the high-profile 1998 murder of a Jacksonville girl is now appealing to the Florida Supreme Court. Joshua Phillips, who is 34 years old, was convicted at the age of 14 of killing his 8-year-old neighbor, Maddie Clifton, and then stuffing her body under his waterbed. Phillips was originally sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, but he qualified for resentencing under a U.S. Supreme Court decision that found juvenile life sentences without the possibility of parole are unconstitutional. But in 2018, a circuit judge resentenced Phillips to life in prison with an opportunity to have his sentence reviewed after 25 years. Phillips appealed that decision and he lost, and so now he's appealing that decision to the Florida Supreme Court.